This is African Experience Worldwide. My name is Shola Lewis. Welcome to another edition of this lovely program. Last week, of course, you had the mixing of the man called DJ Archie. And today's my mix, Shola Lewis. And I'd like you to sit back, relax, and enjoy the vibes coming your way on 89.3 FM WRFG Atlanta. Get ready to support us all the way, because you always do. All right, we need to keep this station going, this beautiful station that brings you international music every day. So we also bring you the news, we bring you talk shows, and many other programming from different parts of the world. So keep it right here on 89.3 FM WRFG. And once again, I say welcome. And for those of you who are listening to me via your phones, in your cars, anywhere that you are listening to the program, I'd like to say thank you very much for inviting me. This is Shola Lewis.
Salam alaikum yen wabanjo yen nyole nuyu chisen tura chisen santa ila senta miyara amna lo hamne munchi de kabi bulen ko seta topa do mi jamur di kolige chede kula dala
Experience Worldwide on 89.3 FM WRFG Atlanta. Again, we talk with so many legendary artists in the world, and I am in the Gambia, and one of the legendary artists that I want to talk to is one of the leaders, the founders of one of the top West African bands in the 60s and 70s, the group Super Eagles. And the name Super Eagles was definitely super. And as we speak, I have with me in the studio Mr. Njie. Mr. Njie, welcome. And thanks for taking the time to come talk to us.
Thank you for having me on your show, Shola.
Okay. Would you please tell us who Oussou Njie is?
Okay. I was born Ismaila Njie in Banjul on the 27th of May 1945. I did my schooling in Banjul, lived in Banjul till 1979. But during that time, Banjul was Banjul. Just immediately after the war, everything was intact. There was law and order, there was everything in that good semblance of life in Banjul. We had a group of boys in Banjul who we were related to. In age, they were older than me, but as I was from my high school, most of the time they are always around me. So we had from bands here and there. Before the Super Eagles came in, we had passed through many groups and bands. Okay.
Okay, and that was before Super Eagles. Now, how did Super Eagles come about?
Okay. Super Eagles is a very long story, but Super Eagles came in from African Jazz, Black Star, Eagles, and then Super Eagles. When we met today, a few of them, I won't name names now, but we met a few of them at the foyer. Foyer was at Hill Street in Banjul. Hill Street was just a stone's throw from my house in Bokul Street. That was where everything used to happen at night in Banjul, in the Hafda area. The boats, the docks, everything where the seamen used to come on there. So it was always busy. Opposite our yard, our house, or our compound as we would call it then, there was that big nightclub called Lewis. I would be in my room and I would be listening to songs being played. If I'm tired with those, I would just walk for 1, 2, 3 minutes. I'll go to the UAC hall. So I got music hall all around me every night, every day. So we met at the foyer. From foyer, we moved in. Song went to African Jazz, and I was very young. I was taken to Black Star. Black Star is just near Makati Square, the old Carol's place. From Black Star, one evening we were seated chatting. One of my school teachers, history teacher, Mr. John Thomas, came over to me and said, "I want to see you." I went out and followed him. He took me to Dobson Street. That was where the hall of African Jazz. That's where the African Jazz used to do their practicing.
Rehearsal, yeah.
Yes. So I went in and I found a lot of people seated. I was so afraid. I don't know what. I was a small young boy, 16, 17. Everybody shook my hand and they said, "Okay, now we want you to bring you in African Jazz, because we know you are the only one here after Lava who has already gone to Dakar last night, who will sing salsa music or pachanga, we call it then." I was flabbergasted. What would I do? Big men like Paturi, like Lava, like Jallo, like Badujo, all there. I was the youngest and Mocham. Okay, I agreed, and a salary was set for me, £88, $40 today or something like that. Then we went. Then I left Black Star and went to African Jazz. From African Jazz, we moved. Then we moved to Malik Seka, came in from the United Kingdom, brought in instruments. We all together as a group left African Jazz and formed Eagles. That was in 1964. In 1964, I was in Form 4, finished Form 4 to go to Form 5, St. Augustine's. I started my high school in 1959. You know, the late Femi Peters was my junior. Osiri Davo, UDP, was my junior. OJ Jallo, they were all my juniors. So in 1964, I went with the band to Sierra Leone. Gambia wasn't independent then. We stayed 64 up to the end of 64 and came back late 64 December with Eagles. We played all around Sierra Leone. Then there was Apapa who flying this.
Yeah, the Apapa boat, yeah.
We leave on a Friday evening and they get there on Sunday morning. From there, we came back home and we continued playing. Until one day, Two of our musicians who were not Gambians, not West Africans, one was from Cameroon, the other was from Congo, left us on notice. We didn't know.
Yeah.
We just got up in the morning and they were all gone. So we found ourselves a band without instruments, without guitarist and another singer. We stopped. We tried until Badu Job was brought to play guitar, and we went to bring May Johnson. You know Sigismund Johnson May? You don't know him?
No, I don't know him.
No, he's a Gambian. He was one of the best guitarists here, one of the best athletes in the Gambia. I think he's alive, he's still here. He played with us for a while, and then we managed until the band stood up. Then we had everybody Gambian. We continued for a while, but we talked about ourselves that this is difficult. We live in this country, we went to school in this country. Our colleagues who went to school with are doing some work, government here and then everybody was moving out of the country to go overseas to study. So we said, okay, let us look out for money so we can buy our own instruments and be independent of anybody. We agreed. We went around town from the Prime Minister Jawara, Tiba, and a lot of old dignitaries we followed, but nobody could help us. Until one morning we heard that Solodabo, a diamond magnet gate, decided that he was going to give us some money to buy the instruments. And that he did. We brought in the instruments, and then there was Super Eagles. But before we started the Super Eagles, we said, okay, as we are getting salary now, why can't we take out a little bit from our salaries, put aside, so that we can, have the money when we need it. We started for 2 months, £2 each. Badu Job, Mocham, Pature, Oussou Njie. I was the youngest. Then Olakoga had just left to go to Russia. So we started 2 months. We did that, and when we knew that the money was coming in to buy the instruments, we went to the bank and got our money back. That was Standard Bank. So there was a time I had a bank book that was in 66, 67. We continued until the instruments came, and then we started playing our music. We had a band then. That was when the Super Eagles came. We sat down to find a name. Everybody worked in villages, but Mocham said, no, we have worked hard for this name, Eagles. Why can't we only add Super and finish with it? Everybody agreed, and that was what we did.
And that's what Super Eagles came.
Yes.
All right. Now you had some very good recordings. Who were the writers of those songs? And I know you guys also did some soul music and R&B.
Okay. In Super Eagles, we had a very versatile band. We could play pachanga, we could play rumba. We had in Edu one of the best Congolese rumba singers. We had in Mocham one of the best people who can teach you any instrument that they even cannot play. When you talk about soul music, don't forget about Pature.
Pature. I could hear the voice.
I can tell you one day, let me just be this anecdote. One night we were playing in Accra at the Star Hotel. You know, in Accra, the Star Hotel was the place for everybody. Anybody who was in would go to the Star Hotel on Wednesday nights. There was one Ghanaian boy called Willie Chitam, very popular. Everybody loved him in Ghana. We were brought in to play at
Star Hotel.
Hotel. But the next morning, all the newspapers, the back pages, Africa's answer to Outstation, pop story. That was the show. Africa's answer to Outstation, pop story. All the Ghana dailies.
Wow.
Yeah, all the Ghana dailies. Pa was a very, very good singer. I will always say that Pa came before his time, because the management we had wasn't robust to carry somebody like him.
Pature.
Yes, very, 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 very good singer. Now I was still in Super Eagles. We continued playing. We played in Banjul, Senegal. In Senegal, nobody knew what we were doing in Senegal. We went to Senegal. Everybody was amazed to see a band like that. Then the craze was the Beatles. we all said English because we sing in English. And wow, that was it. The first song that we killed the Senegalese, we used to kill the Senegalese, was called Drive My Car.
Drive My Car.
Ask a girl what she wanted to be.
Okay.
She said, baby, you can drive my car. Baby, you can drive my car.
Right.
He said, when we reached that version, beep, 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 man, we were in a nightclub called The Cave. It was on another ground. Everybody shouted, everybody, all of us cried. Because we never thought we would conquer Senegal like that. Because then, all the Senegalese bands were coming then. There was no outfit here that would have made them, but we kept on that. And we added two things in our band to make us great. We had good instruments, we were well dressed, and we had a good stage performance.
Wow.
All those three we kept until our last days.
Super Eagles. That was the #1 band in Gambia in Gambia and West Africa for a long time. Did you travel to other African countries other than West Africa?
We go back to Ghana because we traveled to Ghana in 1968 because there were boys who were studying in Ghana. This young Tamsil Jaro, they went to school in Ghana. So we told them, well, we want to come to Ghana to record. We have studios. They said, yeah. They made arrangements for us, and we went. It was cheap to go to travel by sea then. £3 something, you are in the boat.
Right.
Yeah. Went to Ghana, stayed there for a month. But before we came, Ghana was just like our own backyard house. Everybody knew us. You come to the house at the airport junction, you find a lot of boys there. A lot of Ghanaians, a lot of girls. It's just like we were, good.
Just like you were home, yeah. Now, you, how we call it, over the years, after Super Eagles is no more, you came back with Fateleko.
I came back with Fateleko.
Yeah.
But before I touch Fateleko, I'll go back to the Super Eagles because we had songs that we recorded. Nearly all the songs that we sang in the vernacular, especially the English, especially Wolof, it's me who wrote.
Okay.
Writing songs is not playing the guitar. What the song I was not writing poetry, I was writing songs. When I come with my words, and I come with a tune also.
With your melody, yeah.
Yes. And there's nothing beyond that to make a song. But I did in London, in St. Louis. Because we were here one day.
Gambia Super Eagles, right?
You see?
Yeah.
We came here when we were here one day when SENOR came here on a state visit, Leopold Sédar Senghor, President of Senegal.
Yes, that time.
And we played at Bakau Community Center. And behind us, there was a group of Senegalese standing. Group of 4, 5, 6. We didn't know those were the cream of the Senegalese radio.
Okay.
Jibril Ba, Oussou Njie, for a while, until interval. I don't know why, for what. They would come to me, they would call me. I went, we said, well, do you want us to record you and take it to Senegal? I said, record? He said, I never believed they would do that. I said, let me ask him about the band leader. I went over to Baru. Immediately everybody agreed. And then we recorded with them. They came to Louiset in Bakul Street and recorded about 6, 7, 8, 9 songs of our songs. And then there was the breakthrough for Gambian music in Senegal. Every day, every Saturday, the listeners say Senegal, our songs are played. So, one day, a group also came from Senegal. They said they wanted us to take us to St. Louis because in Senegal then there was this big holiday coming in the rains.
Okay.
It's about 2-3 months. Mm-hmm. Now, in that year, everybody who mattered in Senegal went to St. Louis. And St. Louis was like, there was no day, no night rather. Every day, music. We went to the nightclub called Saraba. That was where we wrote Badature. That's where I wrote Mandali. You know?
Wow.
And the rest is history.
Thank you very much, Mr. Njie, for the history. This is definitely history because I know of Super Eagles. I grew up listening to Super Eagles. As when I was a student in Ghana, I saw you guys live in Takoradi, and you know, and I've always loved Super Eagles, and definitely the world needs to know about this legendary band. And I thank you for giving me the information. But before I go, who were the original members of Super Eagles?
Oh, the original members, as I said to you, when we started putting money aside to form the band, were only 4.
Okay.
That was, but the job was the oldest. Then Patrick and Mocham. I was around that area. Baru would the best as somebody was 25. I would have been 16 or something like that.
Okay, so it was the 4 of you guys that are the original members. So when did Sanami and
we brought in Sanami before we went to St. Louis. I mean, I could even remember Sanami was rookie so much so that sometimes you play, you will sleep on the guitar. Sanami will be sleeping. Because what we didn't know, because we had the notion that when we go to dance at 9 o'clock, we will play up to a.m. in the morning.
Oh.
Now, in Senegal, it wasn't like that. In Senegal, it started at midnight. But we had a repertoire so big that we could play our songs and we would never listen to anyone unless we were asked to by force to do. Otherwise, we had a big repertoire. People don't have that now in bands. In band, you go to a dance now, this big dances, people come here to play. Only 5 songs they will play. Each song will be 40 minutes. Now then we didn't do that.
Right.
A tango here, a bolero there, a rumba here, a pachanga there, blah 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 blah. Before you go home, you would have tasted a lot of genres. But people don't do that now. Senemi came in late. He was at the customs, but he decided that he would leave and come to us. He came in late. After Senemi came, Charlie came before Senemi. Charlie Valentine, yeah. Pleasant memory also. Because now the only boys are gone, no, all of them. Yeah. Senemi came, and Edu coming was the last one because Edu was at Fabulous Eagles or something like that. He left to come to
Super Eagles.
And then the other band with Sugi Shoga and all other people crumbled down.
Mr. Njie, I want to say thank you very much for taking the time to talk to me. This is really historic, and I am very happy to have the opportunity to talk to you. Okay.
I am on the Fateleku CD that I did in the States. I have something there which people don't play much. There was one song, the first song that I wrote in a dance band called Sose. Look out for it. It's in the CD. And listen to what I was saying there.
Right.
Very young boy.
Yeah. All right. Thank you. The Gambian living legend, Oussou Njie Senior, telling us about the history of the super band called Super Eagles. Indeed, in the 60s and 70s, was one of the top bands in Africa and had some lovely recording. We'll play you a couple of them. I played Viva's Super Eagles at the start of the interview, and we'll play something right now for you from Super Eagles. And indeed, I was very happy to talk to this man, this legend, living legend in the Gambia. And of course, his name, Ismaila, we call him Oussou Njie. And he is actually one of the few, if not 2 of them, that are still living from that band Super Eagles. I really enjoyed this story. There was a history for me.
Let ngeen xam ne aduna amul solo seet leen ci Ibu Jallow ko ngeen xam ne aduna amul solo